In my mind, I'm always the best.
The crossroads of change. Most people don't quit because they're broken. They quit because they get comfortable. They stop when they're tired. They stop when they're bored. But success? Success doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to one thing, whether you show up. It's when your mind screams, stop. That's when you must scream back, go. That moment, right there, is the beginning of your transformation. In the next few moments, you're going to learn how to push past resistance, silence every excuse, and train your mind to become truly unstoppable. If you're tired of starting over, then it's time to learn how to finish. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. Before you lie two roads. One leads back to comfort, to safety, to everything you've ever known. The other, it leads into the unknown, toward unrealized dreams, unachieved goals, and a version of you that hasn't yet been born. Yes, the past is familiar. And yes, there are voices urging you to stay where it's safe. Be realistic, they'll say. Play it safe. But growth does not live in safety. It lives in challenge, in discomfort, in uncertainty. That's where greatness waits. Every person you admire once stood where you are now, unsure, afraid, tempted to quit. They weren't fearless. They weren't certain. They were simply willing to risk, willing to fail, willing to move forward anyway. Think of Lincoln. His path wasn't a straight line to greatness. It was littered with defeats, in business, in elections, in life. He lost jobs, he lost loved ones, he lost over and over, but he kept going. And that decision, that one decision to continue, shaped the future of a nation. Behind every success story is a hidden struggle. Authors whose books were rejected dozens of times, entrepreneurs who hit rock bottom before they rose, athletes who trained in the dark before the world ever knew their names. What set them apart wasn't luck. It wasn't genius. It was decision. The decision to keep going. Now it's your turn. You must decide that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how loud your doubts become, you will not quit. The path ahead may be steep, but it holds everything you've ever wanted. You don't grow by avoiding the fire. You grow by walking through it. You become strong by embracing discomfort, by facing rejection, by rising again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your trainer. It breaks down what's weak and builds up what's powerful within you. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Decide that you're done playing small. Decide that your dreams matter, that your goals are worth fighting for, that you are not too broken, not too late, and not too far gone. The world doesn't need more people hiding. It needs more people rising. And you, right now, have the chance to rise. So take the step, even if your knees shake, even if your voice trembles, even if you're the only one who believes in you. Take the step, because this moment is where everything changes. And if you want to keep going, truly keep going, you must first define your purpose. Not vaguely, not someday, not maybe, but clearly, deeply, unshakably. Purpose is the fuel that drives you through doubt, fear, and exhaustion. Without it, even small hills feel like mountains. But with it, you can walk through fire and emerge stronger. Purpose turns pain into progress. It gives sacrifice meaning. It transforms struggle into growth. Without a strong why, the journey will break you. But with it, nothing can stop you. Would you like this tailored for a particular audience, like students, athletes, or entrepreneurs? So ask yourself right now, what is your why? What is the reason you must rise? What is the fire that refuses to go out inside you, no matter how many times life tries to snuff it out? Don't settle for surface answers. Dig deeper. What do you really want? Freedom? Legacy? Healing? Impact? Let it be honest. Let it be raw. Let it be so real that it makes you emotional just thinking about it. Because that is the fuel that will carry you through the storms ahead. And there will be storms. You will face rejection. You will face failure. You will face days where doubt screams louder than your dreams. But here's the truth. You are stronger than you think. You were built for the climb. There is power in you that you haven't even tapped into yet, because it only reveals itself when you're tested. The road to greatness isn't lit with ease, it's lit with sacrifice, with focus, with fire, and every step you take forward, especially when it hurts, especially when it's lonely, that's where champions are made. Do not let temporary emotion destroy permanent purpose. Do not let tiredness convince you to give up on destiny. This is where average stops. This is where the uncommon begins. You have everything you need, right now, to begin. Not to be perfect, not to have all the answers, but to take the next step. So move. Move forward, even if you don't know how it all ends. Move forward, even if your confidence is shaken. Because clarity comes in motion. Strength comes in motion. Transformation lives in motion. And one day, sooner than you think, you will look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point. The moment you stopped waiting, the moment you stopped shrinking, the moment you chose your future over your fear. This is not just a motivational speech. This is your call to action. Don't just get inspired, get moving. Decide now that you will become the kind of person who finishes what they start, who shows up, who pushes through, who doesn't let excuses write the story. Write your story in action, in effort, in courage, because you are not done. You're just getting started. So now what? You've heard the call, you've felt the fire, but none of that matters if you don't take action. Motivation without movement is just a moment, and moments pass. But decisions shape destiny. Today is not about hype, it's about commitment. What will you do when the spark fades? When no one's watching? When progress feels slow and praise is nowhere in sight? That's where greatness is forged. In the quiet hours, in the unseen grind. When discipline rises and excuses die, you don't need more time. You need more intention, more focus, more consistency. And understand this, you're not alone on this path. Yes, you may walk it by yourself at times. Yes, it may feel like no one understands. But out there, others are pushing too, fighting through fear, climbing their own mountains. And every step you take becomes part of something bigger. You become proof that it's possible, that it can be done, that fear doesn't have to win. You become the example someone else needs. Your courage becomes their roadmap. So don't stop now. The next level of your life is waiting, but it's not waiting forever. Opportunities don't wait for hesitation. They belong to the bold. You have breath in your lungs. You have power in your spirit. You have something this world needs. So rise, not when it's easy, not when it's convenient, but now. Now is the time to go all in, to bet on yourself, to stop dipping your toes and start diving into your potential. Burn the backup plan. Kill the exit strategy. Let your only option be forward. Because the life you're capable of, it's not a fantasy. It's waiting. And it begins with a single step, taken again and again, until momentum becomes identity. You are no longer hoping. You are becoming. And that changes everything. This is your evolution. Not a moment, not a phase, a transformation. And it's not about pretending you have it all together. It's about choosing to move forward even when you don't, even when your hands shake, even when your voice cracks, even when your legs feel too weak to carry you another step. You move anyway, because growth doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from what stretches you, what challenges you, what forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought you could. And you'll have days when it feels like nothing's working, when the results aren't showing, when you're surrounded by silence and self-doubt. But remember this, the seed grows in the dark long before it breaks through the soil. And so will you. There's progress in the process, even when it's invisible, even when it's slow. You are building grit, you are building character, you are building you. And no, not everyone will understand your journey. They won't see the late nights, the early mornings, the quiet battles. They'll only see the outcome, but you will know what it took. You will remember the cost, and you will stand taller for it. Because you didn't fold, you didn't retreat, you didn't quit. You kept showing up, not because you felt ready, but because you made a decision to become the kind of person who finishes, who follows through, who refuses to let fear dictate their fate. This is more than motivation. This is mindset, a way of living, a way of being. You don't wait for opportunity, you create it. You don't beg for approval, you believe in your own worth. You don't chase comfort, you seek growth. And growth, real growth, demands everything from you. But it gives back more. It gives you strength, clarity, conviction. It turns your pain into purpose, your wounds into wisdom, your story into power. And yes, you will stumble, you will fail, you will be knocked down. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Every setback is a setup. Every delay is a test. Every challenge is a doorway to the next level. So when life pushes, you push harder. When fear whispers, you shout back louder. When the road seems endless, you remind yourself, I didn't come this far to stop now. Because stopping isn't an option. Settling isn't a strategy. Regret is not your legacy. You are built for more. You are called to rise, and you will rise again and again and again until rising is just who you are. So keep rising, not for applause, not for validation, but because deep down, you know you were never meant to live small. You were never meant to blend in, to shrink, to play it safe while your dreams scream for air. You were born with something unique, a voice, a vision, a fire. And this world, this noisy, chaotic, distracted world, will do everything it can to put that fire out, to convince you to dim your light, to settle, to compromise, to trade your destiny for comfort. But here's the truth. Comfort is a cage, a soft prison, and every time you choose the easy road, you bury your potential a little deeper. Not today. Today, you choose something different. You choose the path that demands more of you, because it gives more in return. Today, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You stop letting fear write your story. You grab the pen back. You start turning every limitation into fuel, every no into motivation, every failure into feedback. Because you know now, your life is not defined by what happens to you. It's defined by how you respond, by the choices you make when no one is watching, by the moments when you could quit, but don't. That's who you're becoming. That's the story you're writing. It's not about being the smartest or the fastest or the most talented. It's about being the one who refuses to stop, the one who wakes up and says, let's go again, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Because pain is not a sign of weakness. It's a signal you're in the arena. You're growing, you're stretching, you're building the version of you that's capable of carrying your dreams. So let the pain come. And let it shape you. Let it teach you. Let it build you. Because one day, you'll look back and realize the pain was the gift. It stripped away what you didn't need. It forced you to focus, to dig deeper, to rise stronger. And through it all, you kept showing up. Not perfectly, not always confidently, but consistently. And consistency, that's what separates winners from wishers. That's what builds greatness. Not one big moment, but 1,000 small decisions. To stay in the fight, to do one more rep, to write one more page, to try again and again and again, until you break through, until the thing that once scared you becomes the thing that strengthens you, until the voice of doubt is drowned out by the roar of belief. So hold your ground. Stand tall in the storm. When life knocks you down, take the hit and rise anyway, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. You don't owe the world your perfection. You owe it your purpose. You owe it your truth. You owe it your fight. And your fight, that raw, relentless, honest fight, is what will inspire the next person to keep going. So don't stop now, not until you look in the mirror and see someone unrecognizable, someone forged by the fire, shaped by the storm, built by every battle you refuse to run from. That person, that version of you, they're waiting, and they're closer than you think. But you must keep moving. One step, one breath, one decision at a time. And when the voice of fear returns, because it will, you won't run. You'll recognize it, you'll thank it, and you'll keep walking. Because fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're close. Close to the edge of breakthrough. Close to becoming who you were meant to be. Close to the life that's waiting on the other side of refusal to quit. So rise again. and keep rising for your dreams, for your future, for the people watching you silently, hoping you don't give up. Because if you can keep going, maybe they can too. This is bigger than just you. This is legacy. So breathe deep, stand tall, and step forward. Because your story isn't over. It's just beginning. This is your moment. The moment you decide, once and for all, that the old version of you, the one who waited, who hesitated, who second-guessed, is no longer in charge. That version had its place. It brought you here. But it cannot take you where you're going. Now you walk with purpose, with clarity, with fire. No more living on autopilot. No more shrinking into the background. No more apologizing for your ambition, your intensity, your desire to be more. You are not here to live a life of quiet desperation. You are here to build something unforgettable, to live wide awake, to lead with heart, to stand for something that outlives you. And no, not everyone will understand. Not everyone will clap. But you will sleep with peace, knowing you chose courage over comfort, truth over ease, legacy over acceptance. Because this is how it's done. This is how you shift from average to unstoppable. Not in a single leap, but in daily commitment, in disciplined action, in small steps taken with fierce intention. So now, you finish what you started. You go all in. You burn the excuses. You make your actions louder than your doubts. And you show the world and yourself what happens when a person refuses to quit. This is not the end. This is your next beginning, the beginning of ownership, of power, of alignment between who you are and who you're becoming. And if you ever forget, if you ever feel weak or tired or lost in the process, come back to this truth. You didn't come this far just to come this far. You came to rise, to awaken, to become. So take a breath, square your shoulders, and step forward one more time, because the future belongs to those who show up again and again, even when no one else does. And you are no longer waiting, you are becoming.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a YouTube channel for all Ronaldo fans in all around the world who want to become successful just like their idol, to become a person just like Ronaldo. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and watch every video we daily upload them. Goodbye everybody.